Welcome to another video, guys. Almost 1 week has passed since the new expansion launched, and a lot of people have been streaming Nerf Wind Blizzard for quite a while now, so I'm pretty sure we should be hearing something about nerfs tomorrow, and they're probably going live on Thursday. So in this video we're gonna speculate what nerfs we might be seeing really soon in the game, and maybe even what buffs. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, a like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff would really be appreciated. But now, let's get into the cards.
You are not prepared!
Like I said, a lot of people have been begging for nerfs as soon as the expansion launched, and I myself actually find the meta to be not that horrible. Like, I know it's not amazing, but we've definitely had far worse expansion launches, and even though this one definitely had its problems, like for instance, all of the old decks are best right now, and for the most part, quests are absolutely useless and redundant, but the meta was actually kinda diverse. Like, yeah, Murloc Pally definitely took everybody by storm for the first few hours, then the meta kind of stabilized, then Low Druid came out, and so on and so forth. But what I'm trying to say is there's actually plenty of different decks you could be playing to Legend right now, and I personally did not have a problem actually creating content for all sorts of different versions of all sorts of decks for the last few days, but there are quite a few glaring problems, and more importantly quite a few glaring problematic cards that really need to get toned down, and I'm pretty sure they will really soon. Okay, so obviously the first deck on the list we really need to talk about would be Hog Demon Hunter. Like, I cannot remember the last time we have seen 53,000 games and a deck has above 62% win rate, guys. Like, this is absolute madness right now. And the main problem in this Demon Hunter deck is this area right here, I do believe. Hog Demon Hunter is just a little bit too absurd right now, guys. And the main card is this thing. This bad boy has been carrying Demon Hunter for so long right now, it's not even funny. Like, we've saw all sorts of different iterations of this guy with either the Ravenous Spell Hunter or apparently without it, and both are doing crazy good for quite a while now. So I'm pretty sure this guy needs to get touched sooner rather than later. How they're gonna touch it, I'm not really sure. Like, I doubt they're gonna bump him into 5 mana, because that would completely ruin Ravenous Spell Hunter, because if you remember correctly, that's what they did to Arcanite Defense Crystal, and that card got deleted out of the class. But Ballhog definitely is doing way too much, way too often. Mainly because you get so many of these bad boys with things like Return Policy, with things like Umbra, with things like this guy. So yeah, Ballhog needs to get clapped. And what I do believe is gonna happen, maybe they're just gonna reduce the damage of this bad boy. Even though it kind of doesn't make sense for him to have a different damage than his attack, then again it doesn't, because it's not like it deals more damage if the attack gets buffed somehow or anything like that. So yeah, something definitely needs to happen here, and I do believe the damage is just gonna be a little bit lower, so that the repeat damage from Death Rattles and all of that bullshit is a little bit lower, and the healing potential this guy gives is a little bit lower, because right now this guy's basically a 4 mana heal for 9 while dealing damage, while removing stuff, while killing opponents. It is just doing way too much. Another absolutely problematic class right now would be Fishing Priest, which again has been way too strong for way too long. But honestly, the main problem of Fishing Priest, I'm not sure is the fishing part, guys. I mean, it kinda is. The deck is very busted, but along with that, Menagerie Jug has been unlocking so much potential for so many things. Like, Jug is definitely a very problematic card, and it doesn't take a genius to see why. Like, look at this. Fishing Priest, top tier. Menagerie Death Knight, amazing. Again with the Jug. All sorts of different iterations of this deck with different archetypes and everything, and they all have in common the Juggy boy. There's even a Menagerie Demon Hunter doing real well with it. I've seen it in lists like Hunter, like Shamans, like all sorts of different decks are just abusing this thing to the max, and it's just giving way too much, guys. It's basically a 5 mana 12/12 any way you slice it. 5 mana 12/12 with 9 of it being basically kind of like charge, because yeah, you could have free 1/1 idiots on the board, and boom, this thing lands, and that's +9/+9 out of nowhere. It's basically better than freaking Bloodlust for Shaman back in the day, if you only had 3 minions, that is. But yeah, you get it. It's just doing way too much for way too long, and I'm actually surprised they didn't nerf it all this time. So I really think this guy is gonna be going under the hammer this time for real. And I can see 2 routes of this thing going down. It's either going up to 6 mana, which definitely will be quite painful for a lot of these fast Menagerie decks, or the other route could be just to give +2/+2 instead, which still is gonna be quite the powerhouse, but obviously not as powerful, because the potential is gonna be +6/+6 damage that can go face instead of +9, which is kinda huge. This will tone down the power level of a lot of the aggressive decks, so this will indeed allow for a lot of experimentation in the meta, because right now you either kill quick or die fast, like nothing in between. The meta is way too aggressive, nothing really relatively slow like quest could be succeeding in a meta like this, so I think this would definitely be a step in the right direction. While we're on the subject of cards that are doing way too good for way too long, we can also talk about Brave Masseuse, which is another amazing card for both of these decks we're talking about right now. Like, both Hog Demon Hunter and Fishing Priest have been utilizing this card to the fullest for way too long, and I do believe something needs to get changed for this bad girl, because she's been way too good for way too long indeed. Both the decks we talked about are crazy strong right now for quite a while, so what I do believe here might happen is this girl might just be losing one of her health, because if she loses one attack, she becomes kinda useless, doesn't she? But to be fair, she is a dual tribe card. You could buff her with Menagerie stuff, you could just stick her on the board and start buffing her with Shadow Ascendant, so I wouldn't be surprised if she actually loses one attack instead of health too, but I think health would be the more reasonable line of thinking, because she does need to be an aggressive card for her to make sense for these decks, and also sitting at 3 health, that is gonna be a lot easier to kill for most decks, because 3 damage on turn 2 is not something most decks are a stranger to, but 4 damage, that's just something not very many classes actually have access to. Next up, we obviously need to talk about the quest that kinda ruined everybody's day on the launch day, but it was really no surprise, and that's about Quest Pally. Quest Pally and the quest have been quite annoying to be playing against, not gonna lie. Like, the quest is just so simple, guys. You literally just play this on turn 1, and after that, just play your game like you normally would, just slap in as many Murlocs as you can, and profit without really having to think about it too much. The quest is way too simple, it's way too good, and way too easy to actually complete, so I do think something needs to get changed for this thing. From what I hear, they already did a change to submerged map, and this thing no longer can actually discover you Tyrannogill, which I'm not even sure. Can somebody link where they actually did that? Because I haven't seen it in a blog post or a forum or anything like that. Then again, it didn't really look that hard, but I heard what I heard, so I'm saying what I'm saying. But yeah, this thing not being able to discover Tyrannogill no longer is kind of annoying. And to be fair, this deck is not that strong anymore, guys. Like, here it is. It's actually sitting at around 57% win rate, at least for the really populated matchups. Some outliers here are sitting in the real busted zone, but 57-58%, that's actually a healthy range for a meta deck at least. The sample size definitely is quite big, so it's way too popular, which is also kind of a pain point. But yeah, for the masses, for most people, this deck definitely is a little bit too egregious, and what I do believe should happen is, if you guys notice, Dive the Galaka Depths was actually not like this when Blizzard first were thinking about releasing this. It was actually summon 6 Murlocs to get the reward, and that I do believe is gonna be a nice little slowdown for the quest. I really don't believe it needs too much. Just a single little bump here is gonna be something that can appease a lot of people, and that is indeed gonna slow down the Murlocs quite nicely, because right now it's close to what it's supposed to be, guys. Pally generally is just a simple class, like play mini and go face with it kind of deal. Buff it maybe if you're feeling like you need to express your IQ a little bit more, but yeah, it's just almost on the sweet spot of being a good, simple deck, but right now it's a little bit too good. If they don't touch the quest, they're probably gonna touch some of the Murlocs, and one of the really powerful Murlocs, I'd say, would be the Hot Spring Glider, because this thing allows you to cheat out things you're really not supposed to be cheating out this early. Mainly, you're cheating out Tyrannogill, because Tyrannogill is also just a little bit too strong for what he does, so maybe they're just gonna bump this guy to 4 mana, or maybe the discount is gonna get removed only to 1 instead of 2, because 2 is a little bit too much. Basically allows you to play this guy, plus an extra 2 drop for 0, or just set yourself up for a turn 4 Tyrannogill, or heck, even a turn 5 or 6 Grunty, which is even more insane. But to be fair, that really did not happen all that often. But yeah, either the quest or this guy need to get touched, if you ask me, and that should put Murloc Pally in a bit more healthy state, and I myself am definitely looking forward to that. And the other new, really painful card we have been seeing that got way too popular way too fast would be from Low Druid, obviously, and again, the problem is lying around here. Low is just doing a little bit too much, a little bit too early. This guy literally can drop on turn 3, guys. I'm not even joking. It's not even hard to drop this guy on turn 3. The way you do that is basically, if you're going second, you already have yourself the coin, and on turn 2, you play yourself a Trail Mix, which obviously on turn 3 is gonna give you a grand total of 5 mana straight up, and all you need is a single copy of Innervate and your coin, or heck, even if you're not starting second, you could just have both your Innervates. That is a 4-card combo, but it actually happens quite often, guys. So turn 3, turn 4 low, definitely not the hardest thing in the world, and the follow-up, you get after it with 0 mana Ceaseless, 0 mana Playhouse Giants, and then you start blasting with 5 mana Big Idiots. It is just a little bit too much. So what I do believe is gonna happen is Low is gonna be getting bumped in mana, maybe to 8, maybe even more, but more would be kind of killing it, I do believe. Like, even right now, the meta kind of shifted hard against this thing, and everybody is super quick, but as you guys saw, my predictions are already going in a route that is gonna slow down the meta a little bit, so slower things actually work. And if that happens without low getting touched, well, the meta is just gonna become low druid all over again. So this guy probably goes up to 8, heck, maybe even to 9, and that should be solving a lot of issues, huh? Next up, I do believe we actually have to talk about Starship Death Knight, because that is also a class that has been very strong, especially in the old meta, and I do believe after all of these changes happen, decks like Space Death Knight are gonna become even stronger. Like, the combo Space Death Knight does with the help of Guiding Figure, with the help of Soulbound Spire, with the help of Arcanite Defense Crystal, is just way too busted and way too easy to actually happen as well. So I think something around these cards really needs to get touched. Like, maybe some kind of hard cap on Soulbound Spire, being able to summon idiots up to 8 mana. Something along those lines might be very big of a nerf. I've been hearing people talk about Arcanite Defense Crystal being able to stack armor is a little bit too strong, so maybe swap it out to Death Rattle Heal 4 or 5 or something like that can also be an interesting line of thinking. Maybe something around Exodar, yeah, like, I really don't know. Even Orbital Moon is actually quite the powerful card for this deck, because being able to actually combo it off, put it on your Starship when you play your Exodar, that is also something pretty broken, and this thing can also get used in all sorts of different ways. Like, you could be giving this thing to your Nomelia, you could be giving it to your Pyromancer, you could just straight up give it to some of your Starship pieces to actually double them up with the help of the Reborn. So maybe also bumping this up to 2 mana can also be something worth talking about. But I do believe the deck will be a very big powerhouse if left untouched, with all of the other changes I'm thinking that are going to be happening. So yeah, I think it would be a mistake if something for Starship Death Knight also doesn't get touched very soon with the other nerfs that are going to be happening. And last but not least, I also believe something for Psycho Rogue might get touched, because the pros have really been complaining about the play pattern this deck has, and I myself have not been seeing it lately because I'm a little bit washed up, not gonna lie. My ranks have not been what they used to, trying to go through all sorts of different decks this often. But yeah, Psycho Rogue tends to be quite the problematic deck for quite a while now, so something probably is gonna be getting touched for this thing as well. I'm not really sure what exactly is gonna happen, but something probably needs to happen. Like last time we saw the Twisted Web Weaver get nerfed, and that still actually is a very good staple of this card, so who knows what's gonna happen this time. But I would definitely be on the lookout for some changes for Psycho Rogue, because yes, the nerfs really don't revolve around top legend for the most part, but they definitely don't ignore that segment either, so I think something is gonna get clapped here too. Okay, so I think that's gonna be about it for the nerfs. I think some changes like this definitely should make the game a little bit healthier, at least push it in the right direction. But now let's talk about some potential buffs as well, and obvious cards I think we should be talking about is the new legendary cards, that some of which feel absolutely god-awful and literally unplayable, and mainly the quests really. Like, the quests have been the really unplayable part. So here's all of the legendaries in on Goro, and we can see, yeah, Galaka is great, Elise is awesome, Malo kinda busted, Enter the Lost City also definitely playable, Umbra definitely top tier, Archaeos pushing Fishing Priest over the top as well, but the cards we really need to talk about is the ones that are literally not getting any play. So it's obvious some of these cards are very problematic, so if I were you, I would be looking at these cards and thinking about how they can become better. Like, a lot of these cards could lose one of their mana costs so they can become a little bit more playable. The quests can definitely use a lot of things that are gonna help them be a lot more playable. Like, I've even heard people talk about maybe giving quests some extra bonus, like maybe you play a quest and draw a card, which is actually gonna negate the problem of quests taking up one of your mulligan cards. So basically, not only are you skipping turn 1 doing kinda nothing, but you're also not getting yourself an extra card that could be helping you stabilizing. So maybe giving all of the quests some kind of extra benefit, like drawing you a card or giving you armor, or your next card costs 1 less or some shit like that, definitely might be a very interesting prospect, but they're probably just gonna make the quest requirements a little bit lower, which I'm not sure really is gonna help all that much, because the real glaring problem for most of these quests is you actually gotta pay mana for the reward, guys. Like, the reason why Galaka is good is because the reward is instant. You don't have to spend mana on it, you just play it on turn 1 and forget about it. All you gotta do is just play your Murlocs afterwards. You don't have to play a 5 mana do nothing expensive reward that is gonna give you something later. It's just way too expensive, way too clunky for most of the quests to actually get their payoff, and the payoff is not even that good for the most part. Like, let's face it, the quests have been quite the flop, so I would not be surprised if a lot of these quests get a lot of rework done, a lot of love given to them, and probably a lot of the support cards are also gonna get changed. I'm really not gonna go into details saying what I think is gonna happen for what, because it's buffs, guys. Anything can happen here, but I do believe a lot of the legendaries definitely do need help. Do let me know in the comments if you guys agree with these nerfs, and also what kind of buffs you would like to be seeing in the new Hearthstone balance patch. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, a like and subscribe would be awesome, and don't forget you can check me out live on stream each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.